Hello out there, people. That was the weirdest thing. I just tried to go live and YouTube wouldn't let me go. Wouldn't let me go live. I don't know. I wonder what I'm going to talk about. Welcome to the stream, guys. Don't forget to hit the like as normal. Welcome to Shit Sandwich Delivery. Hope you're all doing really well out there. Please let me know what it's like where you are in clown world, as we're going to get into some really deep topics as usual. So I'm just going to wait for some more people to come on. Please, guys, fill the chat with questions and comments and all the contributions, because as I always say, these lives are as good as you make them. Because you know what's weird? I was on another podcast recently, and the woman introduced me, and I didn't stop talking for the full hour. She hardly said anything. I felt bad, and it's weird because in my personal life, I'm very quiet. I don't really, I'm not a man of many words, but when I get into these topics, you can't shut me up. It's really bizarre. I must, throughout the course of the day, unless I meet with a friend or speak to a family member or anything like that, I'll probably say about 3 or 4 words. Or if I'm working with a client or something like that. And I just find I'm going to get into the NPC diaries because there's some crazy stuff. I'm finding the NPCs even more challenging these days, more noisy as usual. Literally, I go out at like 9 in the morning now, and there's just the noise interference everywhere. I don't know where. Like, I'm probably in the wrong country, because Mexico and Latin culture, it is quite loud. Don't get me wrong. I love Mexico. I love Latin people to bits. They're extremely friendly and welcoming and all that stuff. But my word, what a loud culture. So it's probably my own fault. I should move somewhere that, I don't know, in the back end of Finland or something. And, then I'll stop complaining. I take responsibility for that. But I don't know. It's just, I just can't get past the general disrespect and care that people have for each other these days. It's really gone downhill. It never used to be this bad. It's like literally people just do not care. They just do not care about your experience or anything. And not even just like the NPCs, just in life, just like relationships and things like that. It's just people have lost their moral compass and their feelings for each other. Like, no one really cares about anyone these days. It's bizarre. It's really ramped up since the you know what, and it's probably got a lot to do with the poke in the arm, shall we say? I think that did a lot of damage to people's soul and spirit. So maybe that's part of it. But yeah, just even yesterday, I had a session with a client, and all of a sudden, as normally happens when I go to do an interview or a session, some kind of drama happens, construction or music, and out of nowhere, it'd been quiet all morning. Music is blaring in the corridor. I'm like, look, I'm sorry, I've got to sort this out. Anyway, it's coming from upstairs on the rooftop, and then there's this guy on his own, and he's just blaring out music. And I was really polite. I said, look, do you mind just turning the music down? Because, it's just a bit loud. And he looks at me and he goes, why? I'm like, well, I'm working and, I've got a client and I'm on Zoom and I can hear your reggaeton. So that's why. Right. Okay. And just like, I wasn't even nasty about it. I could have been like really look, mate, can you turn your music? But I wasn't. I was like, can you turn? But it's just like he had to get all confrontational about it. But I don't know. What is it like? Is it just we're here where I am? Is it like it where you are in your country? Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know what it's like where you are. Are you finding just people more? I mean, I lived in London as well before, and I think in the big cities there, with all the stress and the noise, I think that's not that's definitely not good for all of that. But anyway, I'm going to go to the questions in a minute. So let me we got 51 people on here. Don't forget, guys, hit the like. And don't forget, guys, if you'd like to work with me, check out my work on my website, transcendingtimes.org. Truth or Nothing says, what up, Tony from Spirit Lake, Idaho. Welcome. Good day from Eastern Australia. Good day, mate. Please tell us once again the meditation. Please tell us once again meditation. It can't be all that meditation are BSPW and from the negativity. So meditation, what I say, and again, you do you. I just give my experience and my opinion, but it comes with working with people for 10 years now, and I've worked with many people that were really heavily into meditation that have come to me with severe entity attachments from meditating, from going to retreats. They pick up these attachments because in a lot of these meditations, you're trying to connect out there. You're not going inwards. So I say, if you're going to meditate, go inwards and connect with your essence. Anytime you go to connect out there into the astral, which is the prison yard, you're going to run into masquerading entities, beings that are pretending to be your guides, angelic beings that are demons, God that's an AI. And in all these meditations, a lot of it is about connecting with God and source, like source code and all this stuff. And people are getting themselves tripped up with it. And the worst case scenario was one of my friends back in the day. She was like addicted to these retreats, because spirituality, mainstream spirituality, it can be an addiction for some people. I've worked with many people down the years that have said, Tony, I just went from one thing to the next thing to the next things, angels to light language to guides to it's almost like I made a video recently about like hopium. People they're snorting it up because they need a savior, they need a leader, they need something to lean into to help them feel better. Anyway, going back to my point, this girl, she ended up in a mental hospital, and she no lie, she was going on like every time you'd speak to your friends, we'd be like, where's Trinity? Trinity's interesting name, Matrix, and they would be like, oh, she's in a retreat. She's at a retreat every single time. So, and she didn't end well. So I'm just saying, like, just go inwards, just connect with your essence. But it's when you're trying to go out there, trying to connect out there, trying to connect with beings, that's when you can open yourself up to, to things that could be detrimental to you. So there's nothing inherently wrong with just sitting in silence. That can be quite therapeutic. I'm not saying that. But it's opening yourself up and connecting with beings and trying to connect with that stuff out there. I'm surprised no one's asked me about yoga recently. Should we go there? Let's go. Should we go there with that shit sandwich? I did make a video on yoga, but I don't think I've spoke about it a lot, but that really triggers people. Oh, if you want to get the new cages angry, you just say anything bad about yoga. Right, and I'm not saying that stretching, that there's no benefits to stretching, right? I'm not saying that. Of course, moving the body, that kind of thing, yes, it can be beneficial. But some of these poses are demonic, right? I'm just going to say it. There's your shit sandwich. Aleister Crowley used to practice it, right? Aleister Crowley was apparently the worst Satanist that ever lived. And he was a very regular practitioner of yoga. And let's take some of the poses. So the pose, like Kundalini. Kundalini is serpent energy. So when you're doing the Kundalini pose, you are opening yourself up to serpent entities, and a lot of the other ones. I remember once it was here actually. I had a friend. She was my Spanish teacher for a while, and we had a Spanish lesson. But she was a little bit of a new cager as well. And at the end of the Spanish lesson, she was like, "Oh, I've got a yoga class now. Do you want to join in?" I was like, "No, I'm good." But I was finishing my work, so there were people coming and they were doing this lesson. So I was there, but I wasn't taking part. And I was watching, and it got so weird because at the end, right, I don't really want to do it because it's inherently demonic, but at the end, she told them to put their palms up like that and like put their tongue out and shake their head, right? Which, when you look at pictures of demons and stuff like that, that's what they do. And I mean, this is all like, it's again on the surface with all these new age modalities, it all seems great, right? You know, stretching, all that stuff, and I'm sure there's physical health benefits, but there's also energetic consequences for it as well. And like the serpent energy is very sexual. And a lot of these people are like, particularly the men that are doing all this like Kundalini yoga. It brings, and I've had people. This isn't just me saying this, right? I've had clients tell me that they felt like a more sexual energy come in when they were doing Kundalini yoga and stuff like that. So see how many triggered people I got in the comments. And the actual word yoga means to yoke, which means to join, to come together. But come together with what? To yoke with what? And yeah, I'm glad we went there because I haven't spoken too much about yoga. So not too many triggered comments so far. So I think my audience are quite used now to the shit sandwiches. So a lot of what I say, I always say, like, my biggest teachers are my clients. You know, they come with me with so many stories. I get so many emails of stuff that's going on with people, you know, the way that they did this and that, and they took this plant medicine, and then they were hearing voices all the time, and then they, you know, and then there's others that went off and took ayahuasca, and so it's not like me just coming up here and being a killjoy, and like these are like first-hand accounts. Same with the channeling. You know, a lot of people get triggered over the channeling. Oh, you know, there must be good channeled beings out there. I cannot tell you the amount of people that have come to me and they've said, "Tony, I feel awful. I thought I was connecting with my guides. I followed the advice of Archangel Michael, who I thought was like, and my life ended up in a mess. My dead dad, I've spoken that story many times. And, you know, when you see account after account after account after account, it's like, it's obvious. And then you add it all up and you look into the soul trick, where it's clear they're masquerading and shape-shifting into, you know, beings or deities or gods or angels to shoehorn people back here. You can tell it's a scam, but of course it's a hard one to kick for people because it makes them feel good, it makes them feel safe, and I'm not saying that there's no good beings in creation, right? There's good humans, not so many. maybe on a couple of hands. I'm joking. I'm I'm sure many of you are good humans, but yeah, I'm sure there's other good beings in creation, but in this matrix, certainly in that dimension, I mean, you do you, boo, but I ain't gonna be messing with any entities or guides or anything in the astral. So, guys, we've got 95 people, 30 likes. So please just take 1 second out of your day. I'm giving up my Saturday, giving up my Saturday afternoon. No, I do like doing these because so many people tell me that they're therapeutic and they don't feel so alone. So I'm trying to do more of them. I'm trying to do at least one a month because it's nice. Just even in the chat here, like we can kind of talk to each other, and I learn a lot from you guys as well, and hearing your stories. So, oh, here's an interesting question. What do you think of humans who kill themselves? Okay, right. Big disclaimer for the YouTube people and for my haters that are ready for me to trip up and say something. I'm not telling people to top themselves, right? I'm not saying that at all. Everyone has their own choices to make. But what I would say is that the people that do that, I actually believe to be extremely courageous, because once you know what this place is and basically you're a cow on a farm, it's like it's difficult. It's difficult to go through life with like, not knowledge is a heavy burden. I'm sure you guys feel the same. Like, once you know, and it doesn't matter how much you sprinkle this dog turd, it's still a dog turd. And knowing that, sometimes it's difficult to find the motivation sometimes. So, and the people that get to the point where they actually end it, I just think are incredibly brave. And I always think that I don't know if I could do that. I mean, maybe it might come to it at some point. Who knows? I mean, if they like, I don't know, if they go out, they go after us all and they try and like trap our consciousness into a quantum computer or something like that, or clone, like, you might have to pull the plug before that happens. But I mean, it's I know it's quite a dark topic, but I think it's really important to go to these topics and speak about them, because I know we all think about it. Once you realise the soul trick and everything that's going on here, it crosses everyone's minds, even if you're not seriously going to consider it. So, so I think those people are really brave, and people like NPC people might say, well, they're selfish, and I don't see it that way, because they know what this place is. They've probably had so much trauma and abuse and whatever. That it's just got too much, and it does get too much for so many people. That's why people drink so much, take drugs, are into the copium with the spirituality, religion, because it's extremely difficult. I was thinking yesterday, I went for a walk, and I was thinking, imagine one day where you are not in survival mode. Like, just like we are from birth till death in survival mode. And the irony is, no one's going to survive. Like, think about that. It's like we go through life trying to survive, but it's impossible. None of us are going to survive. Like, eventually, even if you live to an old age, your body's going to decay and you're going to get ill or what have you. So it's kind of funny that we're all trying to survive something that's unsurvivable. I mean, we survive in terms of our energy and our spirit, our essence, But in this realm, everyone's trying to, because death is so dark, and it's so, let's face it, it's like this. It really gets to me when these, like, people say, "Oh, I'm not scared, I'm not afraid of death and all that." I'm like, well, I'm not really looking forward to it, if I'm being honest. I mean, probably going to involve some pain and that kind of stuff. And I don't know. A lot of these new agers say that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't live every day in fear or anything like that. It is what it is. But it's like it's not a normal thing. Death is not a normal thing. Death is a creation of this evil AI God that wants to put us through that process to harvest maximum loosh, fear, negativity, pain, anxiety. It's a way. Imagine you're squeezing a lemon to get the juice out of it, and you're making a dish or whatever, and you've only got one lemon, and you kind of needed two, right? So you squeeze it really hard to get all the juice, to make sure you get all the juice before you have to throw it away, right? And that's kind of what's happening. It's like that process. It squeezes all the loose out before we're thrown out and back again. And obviously that's why it's got the word eat in the word death. So wow, we're on some really chirpy subjects today, aren't we? Like suicide, death. I mean, but I know, like I said before, I know a lot of people who think these things as well, and people are so alone with these thoughts. So I watch other channels like this, and I find it very therapeutic to know that there are other people having similar thoughts to me. So yeah, going back to the question, I'm not telling people to do it. I understand why people do it, and I think the people that end up doing it are actually, I hope for their sake they've done their research before they do it, because I mean, I think there's a lot of people like in the soul trick arena, like new age arena, saying that if you suicide, there's some kind of like consequences, like you can't die properly or what have you. I don't see it like that. I mean, my logical mind would think that it would make more sense to be doing that. Like, you'd be more conscious, you wouldn't be on morphine and all the other stuff, or it wouldn't be a surprise, if you had like an accident or something like that. So maybe it could be done more consciously. All the haters are going to be, oh, he's telling people to do this, he's telling people. I'm not telling people to do anything. I'm just giving my thoughts. Anyway, let me know what you think, guys. Like, this isn't just about me. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a good, like, not a good thing, obviously, but let's go to, guys, we've got 135 on the stream, 58 likes. Don't forget to hit that button for us. Yeah, you do not need meditation. You just feel the existence of power in yourself and listen to yourself. I remember I've told this story before. I did do a retreat once. I hated it. It was a 7-day retreat. I kept cheating as well. I was with my ex at the time. We kept meeting up and talking because I just couldn't bear it. I was kind of, but there was this guy, and he was like one of the leaders in this Mediterranean meditation retreat. And my partner at the time, she challenged him on something. I forget what it was. It was something to do. It was something around his belief system, and she didn't back down, and he was so angry and riled, like literally. And we actually said, "Wow, like this guy does all these retreats. He's like the angriest person that we've spoken to this entire trip." So I think a lot of people that do all this stuff, they're just spiritually bypassing. What they really need to do is sincere what I call like multi-dimensional timeline work, like inner child work, where you literally change in the holographic imprints that are stuck in time and space, that are stuck in trauma, and go back and reparent them. And that takes real work, right? But that's what people really need to do. But this guy was like really angry, and we were like, wow, he's like, for someone that's a peaceful meditation guy, like he was not a happy bunny. So people are so overwhelmed, just trying to stay afloat. There is no time for self-preservation or to grow as a person. And that's what you see in society, plus the non-stop negative mainstream influences. Yeah. I mean, it's like to grow, lessons and all that. What if we are just forced into reincarnation, just like animals are forced to head to their death in a slaughterhouse? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that. I mean, this is the thing. It's like going into like nature being wonderful. Like everything's got to eat something, I've said it before. I'm not vegan now. I was vegan for a while. I got sick. You can't do it. I mean, you literally can't do it. You get sick eventually, or you get weak at least. And I've told the story many a time. I was losing my memory and all kinds of digestive issues, felt like they call it hangry, where you're angry because you're hungry because you're not getting the nutrition. And if you go back on my old videos, like what are we now, 2025? Yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, might be. I absolutely look like I look like a skeleton. Like some of the videos, I'm like, wow. I literally, I was at what I call end stage veganism, and people can last for different amounts of time. So you'll get comments of, well, I've been a vegan for 20 years. Yeah, but it depends on like a lot of factors. For me, I work out every day. I play football twice a week. I'm very active, so my nutrition just plummeted. If you're like not really doing a lot, then of course you're going to be able to maintain it longer. But anyway, my point is that although I'm not vegan, I still can't say I feel completely comfortable about. I mean, I don't agree with mainstream slaughterhouses and stuff. I buy organic meat, not purely because you don't know what they're jabbing them with as well these days. But just even when you look at that, it's like there's something that's always got to consume something else. That's going to be one of my my videos coming up, like questioning nature. So I'm probably not going to go into it all now, but I did see. I saw a video on my Instagram. I'm on Instagram, guys. Don't forget. All my links are in the description if you're on Instagram. But there's this video that came up about nature, about the cruelty of nature. This page, it must have read Instagram reads my thoughts because it will show me something that I'm thinking, which is kind of freaky. And this video came out of a cat, and it had like 4 or 5 babies, and they were pink. They were literally like pink, like all rolled up. And the mother just started eating them. And I'm like, what? And it's like, you see like a lot in nature where like lions will kill their cubs, like dolphins are playful, but they can like be really cruel as well. And anyway, yeah, so yeah, it's all, everything in this realm is designed to die and consume something else. Going back to your question, it's the way it's set up. And yet the reason it doesn't feel right to me still is because it's really not right. It's really, in an ideal world, you don't want to be killing anything really to eat, do you? No one does really. So the way this place is set up, so I'm sure there's loosh that's being generated from like animals eating each other, insects eating each other. I mean, it just never ends. It never stops. And people say, well, nature's wonderful. Is it really though? I mean, like, don't get me wrong, there's beauty in it, but when you really sit down and think about what happens in nature, I just even here, the other day I did a podcast with a lovely lady on a Finnish channel, and before the podcast, I sat there on my balcony, and I was just sitting there waiting, and a butterfly flew over the balcony, and then a bird, right, landed on the top of the balcony. He was looking at the butterfly. I'm like, that butterfly's toast. And then, yeah, flew down, took the butterfly, flew off. And it's just like, there's examples of that, like everywhere in nature. And then you've got, yeah. So, besides us, are there any good beings in the universe? Yeah, I kind of answered that earlier. I don't know when you joined the stream, but what I said was, I'm sure there are good beings in creation, but in the astral, yeah, I wouldn't be dealing with anything there. They're all manipulative entities, masquerading entities. They'll give you up to 90% truth, then they'll rug pull you or dump in the punch bowl if you follow their advice. And you see it in these life reviews. You know, they'll be telling people, you know, they were a good person when they did this and they did that, and then they did this, and you need to come back. Alistair Crowley worked with British intelligence agencies. Oddly enough, he passed away same year as the CIA was founded. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, they all worship him, don't they? All the celebrities and everything like that. Oh, sorry, guys. If I missed your question, there's so many here. So, meditation is a form of bypassing from feeling. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. Spiritual bypassing. The New Age is just one big spiritual bypass. I had someone send me something. Carl Jung. He's very popular. He's basically a New Cager, basically saying that we shouldn't feel emotions or something along those lines. And I said, yeah, that's spiritual bypassing 101. That's the thing. They don't want you feeling what this place really is. They want you bypassing it, hoping you'll blink and miss actually what this is. And then by the time you've blinked, it's time for you to depart, let's say, and then you're back round again. So they want to waste your time with all this stuff, all this bypassing, all this nonsense, avoiding feelings, avoiding the truth, you know. Don't react to fear. I mean, how can you not react to fear? I mean, it's like your reactions are your reactions, aren't they? I've always thought that, like, if something's, if, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the moon is a conveyor belt to do it over again. The sun is the entry point of the matrix. Never looked at it like that. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with these. NPCs don't have a hard time. They are carefree in their life. Seems that way, doesn't it? It seems that way. They're just happy, aren't they? They're just happy to get along, to go along. And have you noticed they've always got an important call that they have to put on loudspeaker when you sit near them? The only time you can escape is by death, but if you ended too soon yourself, you didn't fulfill your contract. I don't know about that. You know, I don't give a. I don't give a. All their contracts are null and void anyway. I mean, what makes us have to abide by contracts? And they're just doing. I mean, where's their contracts? They're spraying us, putting poison in our food, poison, and then in the astral, they're tricking us and deceiving us, and all. Like, what contracts are they fulfilling? No, I don't. I don't. Contracts, and this whole idea that we, we consented, right? I think that's more like excuses for them. They are doing this by coercion, right? Yes, they're tricking people, they're hoodwinking people. But I've reviewed NDEs where the woman says that God stuffed her back down in her body, right? That they don't like all this consent stuff. I don't buy it. I really don't. Yeah, the body is a prison created by the demiurge. Absolutely. Can you demonstrate? Can you demonstrate the yoga poses that aren't good? Yeah, I'll just get on the table and I'll do a. What's it called? What's the snake one where they put their head up and they look really creepy? Yeah, people who are suicidal can be or even look the most happy. I think this is my biggest shit sandwich live I've ever done. I do try. I try and make it fun, guys. I really do try. Um, yeah, I wouldn't do tarot reading, tarot card. That can get interfered with entities. Basically, anything in the New Age, apart from the one real truth that they shroud everything else with they pepper it with BS, is that we're energy and we don't die. I think that's the only thing that I would take from the New Cage. So they hook people in with that. Because when I first heard that, I thought that I felt really empowered. Because I'm like, oh, well, we don't really die then. And that's when it pulls you into all the other stuff, like the angels, the guides, the spiritual bypassing, the don't judge anything, all that stuff. So they use that one to pull everyone else in. What is the best way to prepare to get out of here? So I think what we're doing at the moment, I think obviously taking in the right information. I've spoken about before. There's a lot of information out there. It's discerning the right information. I think studying the movies, the TV series that they tell you what's going on. There's so many of them out there now. Just learning, like watching the NDE reviews, unprogramming yourself from any like new age concepts, like that it's wrong to judge, it's wrong to get angry, that we shouldn't fight back or defend ourselves. Energy training is really important. Doing the work, becoming as strong as you possibly can while you're here. And so I think they're good ways to start. No, I don't believe the what they teach in NASA with the Earth and the ball Earth and all of that stuff. We're under a dome, guys. It's clear. They told us that in all the ancient civilizations. There's water above the dome. That's why the sky is blue. What do you think about Monroe Institute and binaural beats? Yeah, I've spoken about this before. Excuse me, I'm just going to take some water. Getting a sore throat. We've got 152 on the live stream, 79 likes. Hit the like if you haven't already, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Monroe Institute. So, as I understand, Robert Monroe, his early work was decent, but then he got co-opted, and then they took hold of his work and they did all these kind of different meditations. Forget what they call them now. Oh, hemisyncs. Guys, I did one of those years ago, and I got implanted. Same with binaural beats. It took me, after I did binaural beats this one time, it took me a whole week to just clear the interference that had come in from it properly, because it scrambled my brain. So this is what I say to people: like, be careful with the stuff that you're listening to on YouTube, because it's not always, what you think it is. Yeah, Darius, right. I've done a review on him. He's definitely controlled opposition. He's saying that there's no evil or judgment. Yeah, right. When they show you a life review and show you your worst bits, then they're not. Yeah, they're making you judge yourself. And to say there's no evil, he's one that says that the soul trap's finished as well. This is a concept we've got to be really careful of. There's a lot of people saying that it's all over, it's finished. I think that's dangerous to think that way, because, well, I mean, from my point of view, even if it is finished, I'm not gonna give up what I'm doing just because one of those people says that it's ended. Yeah, Spiracy, I need to review her. There's something not right with her. She's another one that's blown up out of nowhere, like literally the last, I don't know, 6 months. A lot of people saying that she's AI. She did a video recently that was completely off, but I need to do a proper review on her. Wish I was living in Mexico. I love it there. The people are so lovely. Yeah, the people. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're not all lovely, but in general, yeah, I would say Mexican people are, the warmest people, the kindest people that I've met, I think, in my years. And the food obviously is incredible. So yeah, Operation Fishbowl, they couldn't break the dome. And it was funny when I reviewed Laurie Ladd, she kept talking about being a fish in the bowl. Do you think Darius Wright is trying to keep us in the Matrix? Yes. Yeah, he's got serpent entities working through him. Every time I look at him, I see serpents. If you look at his eyes, they're like slits. They're like serpents. You can tell a lot from the eyes. But yeah, there's all kind of misinfo from him, and like, he's like, they put him out there. He's a good-looking dude. He's, all his views have got hundreds and thousands of views. I don't know. And when you really drill down into what he's saying, there's some big red flags. Yeah, Astral is a prison yard. Tony, does snake eyes reveal what someone is? Well, if someone's got snake eyes, it normally means they've got some serpent energy going on. You got to do a review on NDE story of Russell Briniger. You won't regret. He talks about the matrix and quantum field. No, I haven't looked at that. I will look at that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because I've actually got to leave because I'm meeting some people. So just a short one today, but it's good to speak to everyone. And yeah, we'll see you on the next live. Take care, everyone.